lovely YouTubers, and welcome back to another video. So unfortunately I lost the first few minutes of video of the background getting painted. That was just gouache. I was using Payne's Gray with some water. I watered down the gouache and some white. I was trying to say white, but water came out, but it wasn't wrong either. And then I went ahead, this time I normally try to put that paste for the foil at the end. I'm trying something different and I did it at the beginning. I was using masking fluid, so usually I just tape off the part that I didn't want the paste to get onto, but I didn't do it this time. I had masking fluid, so I was like, oh, I'll try it out. I did it. It ripped my paper. I completely regret. I'm not a fan of masking fluid. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what. It's not like I put it on the majority of the face and the outline so that the paste wouldn't get onto it. And yeah, it ripped it. It ripped it pretty good. My paper wasn't wet when I did it. I didn't wet down the paper. I waited for the paste to be completely dry when I went to lift it up. So there was no moisture on the paper for it to rip. The masking fluid was completely dried when I went to do it. So yeah, that was really frustrating. And so a lot of the textures on her crown part is really screwed up. So I was going to mess with gouache anyways on top of it, but I wanted to do like a thin layer of watercolor and then layer on the gouache. And because the fibers were ruined in certain spots, it just didn't look like the way I want it to look. And when that happens, usually you're crap out of luck. So I just went ahead and did like a thicker gouache on top of it and then layering the light on top of that. And it came out okay. It wasn't what I wanted, but you know, and now I know me and masking fluid doesn't mix. And I probably won't be using it anymore. I'll either use masking tape or I think there's something called Frisket that is a thinner. It's like masking fluid, but it's more watery and supposed to come up easier. So I'm gonna attempt that one. But yeah, me and masking fluid, no good. Not gonna happen again. I'm not gonna fall for that trap. This is like the third or fourth time I've tried it. And again, nothing was wet when I tried to lift it up. I think that's what I heard, that everything has to be dry. The background was already painted. The background was already dry. When I put the paste there to be sticky for the foil, it was fully dried. Everything was dry. I lifted up, ripped the paper. I was not a happy camper. So that's going to be, yeah. If I'm doing something wrong, if there's something I'm supposed to be doing instead, please let me know. The majority of the face here you're seeing, this has been watercolors for the most part, and then like the other half is going to go ahead and be gouache. Her hair is all in gouache, I believe. No, I think her hair is actually mostly watercolor. I'm totally wrong. I go on to another layer of gouache on top of her face, and then her crown is mostly gouache. I also did something, a little fun thing at the very end, and I used some beads that I got. So to add with her crown to look like a pearl, and I like the way it came out. It's fun. I usually don't I like giving dimension to my paintings, but usually that much dimension I usually try to stay away from, because if you're going to frame the painting or not, or if you're going to scan it, you know, it's going to be a pain in the butt if I ever need to scan it. It's going to be like, no, I'm going to take a picture of it and we're good to go. So normally I don't, but I'm like, this is a sketchbook. This is me for having fun. This is for me to do whatever's. And so, yeah, I didn't care. If I wanted to glue freaking giant beads on her forehead, I'm gonna do it. I did have to cut, unfortunately, this out because what I found out, because I normally do the paste at the very end, right? And it's sticky, and then you put the whatever foil you're gonna put on it, and then I could heat up with a heating tool and rub it with a bone folder, and I can get the foil off onto the paste. Unfortunately, what I didn't take into account, that if it's dried for a long time and there's nothing on it, to heat it back up is actually a pain in the butt. And so I had to put it through my laminating machine to activate the paste again, because it gets activated by heat, and to be able to put the foil on. So as of many attempts trying to do it with my bone fold, it didn't work out. I went ahead and cut it out of the sketchbook, and then put it through the laminating machine, and had to actually do it a few times to just reactivate the paste. So now I know the foil all the foil stuff needs to happen at the end, not at the beginning. I was like, oh, the reason why I tried it this way is because I figured I can just paint on the paste over it if it's in the wrong spot, and then, you know, the foil will go on top of it, and the colors that I want to where they be at will be there. So yeah, it didn't work out quite as expected, as advertised. So, but I did get the foil on there, and it still came out pretty decent. And I like the way it came out. For the most part, I like the way this piece came out. I think if I ever would do anything or do a print with her, I would crop out the bottom. I think there's a lot of negative space after her shoulder that really isn't necessary. It needs to be there personally. And I try to fill it up with color and stuff, but I kind of wanted it to be very ethereal with her. I think that's the right word for it. So that's why I wasn't trying to put too much definition past her collarbone and shoulders and such. I really was more trying to focus onto the portrait and face and how weird and strange it looks. I did use a reference with this, and it was a picture off of Pinterest of, I'm guessing, a model dressed like a mermaid. So that was a lot of fun. I changed the hair, I changed the crown she was wearing. And I did a little bit different with the eyes, but for the most part, I used it for the lighting and shadows, so I didn't have to, you know, constantly think, oh, where's my lighting coming from? I could just go ahead and use that as a reference, and I can concentrate more on materials I'm using and trying to just learn how to use them. So yeah, that was that fun stuff. And I really like the mix of watercolor and gouache together. When I try to do a straight up gouache, I feel like I go way too thick with the gouache, and I'm not getting the effect that I want. And I don't know, I still love watercolor, so I don't want to take it out of the materials I do use. So I am liking the mix of the two. I think I want to push a little bit more of the ratio of gouache per watercolor, because this one I think there's more watercolor than gouache. So I'm still just trying to figure out the balance of how I want to use this material, both materials, and percentage wise of each. Okay, now that that's all boring stuff, I'll probably leave you guys to it. I really don't have anything else to say. If you have any questions about anything you see or what I'm using, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'm more than happy to answer for you guys. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks guys so much, and if I have anything to pop in to say later on, I'll definitely do so. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy holiday weekend, and I hope your holiday weekends stay fabulous and amazing for whichever holidays you do celebrate, and be safe. Hey YouTubers, just a quick note, this is me coming back editing this video. I had it released on Sunday and YouTube took it down saying that the music that I had on here was not free to use, which is completely wrong. It was completely free to use. So for now on, I am not going to be playing any music in the background. So if you guys, hopefully you guys are okay with it. It's not that I can't edit it and put music in the background, but I'm not interested in having every video I put up now flag when it's false, and I'm not the first person to have to go through this. There's apparently a lot of people having this kind of issue. So to just skip all the BS, no more music in my videos, just a heads up. And it just, you know, you guys get to put the music you want in the background, or you can mute me altogether. However it works. But with that said, I hope you guys don't mind. I'll probably say that again in a few other videos. If I have nothing else to say, it's just going to be silence in between another time I do have something to say. So just a heads up there. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video without free music in the background. All right, bye. So with that, we're getting closer to the end. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope you have a fabulous holidays. Oh, and if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. It helps me out also very, very much. Thanks again for staying to the end.